everyone, it's Vicki here today designing for Hip Kit Club, and I am using the fabulous December 2020 kits. There's an image there, and my assignment this week is to make some embellishments to then use on a layout. So I decided I wanted to use some tags and pocket life cards to just make some sort of card embellishments, which I could use on a card, or in this case I'm going to use for a grid design on my layout. So I start off with, this isn't actually a pocket life card, this is from the those journaling embellishment pack, I think it's called. And it's just a little card that says ready for some crafting time. So I have a photo of my niece crafting in her pajamas, and I thought this would be cute to make along this theme. So I'm just building up a little card here. So I'm going to use some of the die cuts and some of the chipboard pieces, and I'm just going to build up these little cards. So this is quite a simple way to do a layout. Grid layouts are always super simple, and there's loads and loads and loads of little embellishments in this kit for December. So I was spoiled for choice, really. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing here. I peel off the back of the chipboard, you'll notice, before I put it down, just so that I can move things around and they don't get stuck to the page until I've decided where they're going. That's the reason for me doing that, in case you noticed it. So here we go. So I'm loading up some things here. These are kind of Christmassy embellishments, but that's fine. She was crafting at Christmas. This isn't going to be an overtly Christmas layout, but yeah, you'll see how it comes along from there. So I'm just going to start sticking these things down. And as you can see, I've put the that die cut onto some foam, and the other things I'm going to put flat underneath. We go. It's just a case of building up a few layers, and you see that could easily go on the front of a card, and that would look pretty cute, I think. So so yeah, there we go. That's number one. Now I'm going to start on number two, and just deciding which pocket life card to use as my base. There we go. And I have a chipboard tag, which I've already taken the sticky off of the back. I just pulled out a bit of thread from my stash there to use to put in the tag, just so that it's not just left with an empty hole at the top. And again, I'm going to start to layer up. So I'm going to use some more of these die cuts on here. Just deciding what to use. Use some of the florals. So that black and white branch is sort of the same as on the one next to it. So it sort of brings the two together. And Oh My Crafty Heart then brings the crafting theme over to it as well. So I'm just going to stick these things down, stick some of the things again on foam and some of the things flat. So there's quite a lot of dimension on this layout because there's chipboard and foam on top of each other there. So there's quite a bit of dimension going on. I'm just going to stick that piece of chipboard down. There we go. Now I have two. I could easily use that as a card as well. Just trying to decide now how I'm going to lay it out on my layout when it comes together. And I'm not really sure how it's going to come together at this point in time, but I'm just sort of playing with it a little bit. So I'm going to make a third section for my grid layout. And this one I'm going to theme with home because she's crafting at home in her pajamas. So I thought that was quite appropriate. And a little clock there, you know, just whiling away the hours crafting, as we all do. So yeah, so I'm just pulling out things that I think will work on there. So I like this little frame on there. It sort of works perfectly on the frame that's on the card. So I just cut those leaves off the side of the house, and I'm going to put them back on there, but just in a slightly different position. There's the clock and another flower over there. And at the top of that card it says no place like home. So that sort of all works together. bit of foam on the back of the house. And of course the frame is already popped up because it's chipboard. I think that looks so cute on there with that surround. It just works perfectly there. I was really pleased with that. So just sticking these things down. So that's my 3 pieces there, and this is where I decide I'm going to do a grid layout rather than across the page. So my final piece is going to incorporate the photograph. So this is slightly different. This isn't although I do embellish it and put it onto a pocket life card as I did with the others, this is less of a piece that you could put on a card really. I guess you could if you had a different photo. You know, Christmas photo on it would be quite sweet actually to send as a card, Christmas card. So I'm using that tag from the acetate pieces. It's just got little silver stars on, and again I'm putting a piece of thread in there, and I love those little pieces there, sort of like a flower made of diamonds, really sweet. It's more of these black and white leaves just to sort of bring it across because I have them in each of the sections now. It brings them all together, ties them all together. Having one more go here at putting these across the page, still not feeling it. I think if I had some mixed media on the page I might be able to do that, but I'm not using mixed media for this assignment, so yeah, I think that looks quite sweet though. Okay, so putting some more leaves on there, and I want to use that little dog because how cute is he? So I think at this point I'm deciding, just putting some foam on, but I'm thinking about how I'm going to finalise and put all this together. But I'm going to start to stick everything down here. So all this is going to get stuck together so it doesn't come apart again, and I can then just continue to move things around the page. Okay. So the picture in this case is on the foam and the rest is flat, apart from the little dog who's going to sit on the top of the picture. And I love him. I was determined to use him. He has nothing to do with this layout. I love dogs, what can I say? Okay, right, so at this point I go off camera and I use my sewing machine to put across through the centre of the page. So I did 3 lines up and 3 lines across with my sewing machine in some pale blue thread. So here I am just adding a couple more enamel dots onto that top left section there. I'm going to add something in, some little pieces into there. So I'm really happy with that, how that's looking. Yeah, I kind of thought afterwards actually it's a shame that I'm not using them on cards because I thought they looked really cute. Or tags, they'd look cute as tags as well. Now this is my husband being silly, this shadowing, and in a moment his hand's going to come in and do a thumbs up. He was threatening to do it and in the end he just did it. Yeah, that's my husband being a weirdo. So yeah, just ignore him. One day I'm going to get him to do his own voiceover on one of my videos. So I'm going to do a voiceover and then I'm going to get him to do an alternative voiceover. It will be funny. You will want to hear it because he can be quite funny. Yeah. So he used to be in the Navy though, so occasionally he swears. So if you're very sensitive to that, don't listen to him. Okay, so I've stuck down all the sections and just arranging the cord there, the thread, sorry. And I'm just thinking about my title here. Now my title actually in the photo is a bit strange, and I am tempted to move it, but I stuck it down, so it's sort of gone in a funny place. Winter I'm fine with. The silver crafts I think is too high because the F was overlapping where it says our favourite, so at the top of that bottom one above the photo. So Yeah, so I think I stick it too high, but I mean, I don't hate it. It just looks a little bit off because of where I had to move it to make it fit. But anyway, you'll see. So I'm just playing with winter, and I decided to put it across the stitching line. And in retrospect, if I'd stitched afterwards, I would have stitched over the top of it, but I'd already stitched and I didn't want to risk making a mess. So I love these silver letters. They're fabulous, but they're quite hard to put, I think, to put in a line. So yeah, so hence why I think they ended up too high. And also, the F kind of looks like a P, and I was a bit worried it said crafts. But anyway, there is the final layout. I hope it gives you some inspiration for using embellishments onto a layout. Some close-ups coming up. I would love to know what you think. Please do leave your comments and hit like if you like. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Vicky for Hip Kit Club. Bye bye.